Hello everyone, and welcome back to Stories with me, Jesse. Today's stories come once again from the judgmental and condescending adults over at Reddit/entitledparents. Let me know what you think of these stories in the comments, as well as any suggestions you might have that we may just use in a future installment. Prepare yourself for your daily dose of Karens, cause we're getting started now. Our first story is titled, Entitled Parent Meets a Queen's Neighborhood. So, funny story, happened today. I have a piece of property in Queens, New York, and the hot water heater was leaking. Had to change it, etc., etc. Luckily, plumbing is my thing, so went there with two guys to get it done. While they are working inside, I go outside to make some calls. And this kid I know, mind you he's 20, just seems like a kid to me, is across the street smoking a joint on his porch. Mind you, this is a good kid, a bit shy, but just nice and would shovel everyone's driveway/walkway during the winter for $20 when a Karen with her kid stops in front of his house and starts yelling at him.
What are you doing up there? That's disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Mind your business and keep moving, lady. He said this politely enough, and I am paraphrasing.
My kids have to play out here, and you're trying to turn them into drug addicts! I am calling the cops!
She pulls out her phone to call the cops, and I decide at this point to go across the street and intervene before the cops get involved. Weed is pretty much legal here. It would have been at most a $50 fine. Hey, what the f*** do you think you're doing to this nice lady? Are you smoking weed? And not sharing, you selfish prick? Sorry, here, take one of mine. Reaches into pocket and pulls out half a joint I was saving for later. Fucking kids these days have no respect. Karen to me,
are you fucking kidding me? What the f*** is wrong with you?
At this point, another neighbor who was watching this unfold, having a bit of a chuckle, steps in. Hey, Spartan, what the f*** is all the yelling about? The kid was toking, and this young lady wanted a pull, and he was being a selfish prick. What the f***? That's f***ed up, kid. I am telling your mom when she gets home. Sorry, lady. Let me go inside and get my bong for you. We don't tolerate that kind of behavior in this neighborhood.
You think this is funny? You guys are disgusting! I'm calling the police!
At this point, she walks away, back to the homeland of Karens, never to be seen again, I hope. And the 20-year-old starts busting apart at the seams in laughter. Figured you guys would have a good chuckle at this, and since she tried to use her kids as an excuse to push other people around, I think it fits the sub. Wow. That Karen certainly got played by the OP and his neighbor, and the 20-year-old was totally freaking the hell out. Like he didn't have a clue what was happening. I know that cannabis is still illegal in several areas, so this story might be divisive, causing some of you to actually side with the Karen. But places and cultures are different, and it was legal in the area, plus he was on his porch, so she really didn't have to lash out like that as if he was right in front of her kids. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story in the comments. Moving on, our next story is called Wash Your Hands, Please. It seems like the cafe I work at attracts the crazy ones. For backstory, I work at a cafe that's doing takeout only, and having employees wear face masks in compliance with city and provincial orders right now, and for the most part, we're doing pretty well. We've even got to the point of where we hired one new employee to deal with the upcoming summer increase that we think is coming. The person we hired, though, was a huge mistake. We live in an area where it's just where the wealthier and normal areas of the city meet, so we see a lot of both kinds of people in here. It just so turns out that this 16-year-old new employee fell within the wealthier side. We start our story off on Entitled Kid's first day in after his telephone interview. I'm in the front getting ready to work and ready to train him when Entitled Kid comes out into the front espresso bar rather quick and wearing his mask improperly with his nose not covered and his upper lip basically hanging out. First, you need to fix your mask, and second, did you wash your hands? Entitled Kid checking his phone. Oh, I washed my hands at home. Okay, the rules here, even if there wasn't a pandemic, are that you wash your hands before starting work and put your phone away. No phones while you're up front. Entitled Kid looking up from his phone. Go wash your hands and fix your mask. Entitled Kid giving me the evil eye. No, I washed my hands at home. What, do you think I'm infected? me pointing to the health authority sign. Just wash your hands, please. I washed them at home. Why am I gonna do it again? Man, cleaning parts of an espresso machine.
You need to wash your hands and wear your mask properly over your mouth and nose.
At that point, entitled kid grumbles and trudges over to the hand wash sink. Out of the corner of my eye, I see him just wet his hands, shake them dry, and come back. Manager seemed to see much more than that. Manager, speaking in her patented mom voice,
Wash your hands properly, please. Water and soap for 20 seconds. F you.
Manager, dropping all politeness,
You're fired.
entitled kid, wide-eyed and shocked.
What? You're fired. Return your apron and please get out.
Entitled kid, now angry. What? 'Cause I won't waste water and soap? Manager, frustrated herself.
Because you're disrespectful, not only to me, but to other employees. I'm not going to tolerate.
Seriously? You're gonna be that guy?
Yes, I am. Now get out.
Entitled kid threw his apron on the ground and stormed out, but not before giving everyone the finger and yelling some racial slurs at the manager and promising we'd be hearing from him. Later that day, we got an angry phone call from his mother. I was lucky enough to be in the office when the call came in, and the manager was nice enough to put it on speakerphone. It starts midway through the call below.
So you better have a good reason for firing my child without giving him a reason. I did. Did he tell you? Yes, he did, but I don't accept it. Uh-huh.
Entitled mother, silent for a few seconds before speaking.
Well? What did he tell you? That you fired him for not washing his hands. He was also highly disrespectful towards me and the barista trying to train him, and he called me a racial slur on the way out in front of a group of customers. So what? I'm not about to tolerate that kind of thing in my cafe. If someone else tries to hire him, fine by me, but I'm going to be warning the other business owners in the area about him. That's libel! Then sue me. I'm pretty sure no one will want him if he acts like that with them.
Entitled mother, getting higher pitched in tone.
You're gonna regret that! Uh-huh. My son is in culinary sciences at school. Uh-huh. He's already a culinary prodigy! And a racist. He's gonna get hired at another cafe! Not after they hear, and that cafe's gonna drive you out of business! Okay.
Entitled mother, silent for a few seconds.
Why aren't you scared? I know how things are with the Chinese flu right now. I bet you're gonna go bankrupt in the next few days! This conversation is over. What? My decision is final. Your son is fired. No! I'll be alerting all businesses about your son. No, you will not, you
At that point, the manager just reached over and hung up without saying anything else. We disconnected the phone for the rest of the day, and while we haven't heard anything directly from entitled mother or entitled kid, other than businesses have been alerted, and we've already heard that entitled kid has tried to apply at other places, and none of them have hired him on the manager's advice. For real? If you work in a place of business that serves any consumable product, it's a golden rule to wash your damn hands, even without the pandemic. And for this entitled brat to whine and groan over simple safety precautions and then swearing at his supervisor on his first day, there's no way he was keeping his job. I think it's kind of funny how his mommy tried to come to his defense, but only made herself flustered. And you can really tell where her son got the sense of entitlement from. Yeesh. Our next story is titled, I Just Wanted to Go for a Run with My Dog. Oh boy, I didn't think I'd ever have to post here. I've been on this sub for a while, but alas, I'm actually feeling the need to post here. So this story happened maybe 2 weeks ago, I'd say. It wasn't originally written for this subreddit, but just in my notes so I could look back on it, so sorry for any grammar mistakes or if it isn't in the style for the subreddit. Now that I've got 200 karma, I thought I'd just post the story here, as it's quite amusing. Also, by the way, I wrote this a few hours after it happened, and I can't be bothered to change the parts like earlier today. So earlier today, I walked to my local football pitch for a run, as I'm using the time in quarantine to get my fitness up. Due to the pandemic going on, usually there isn't anyone there when I go for a run. But today there was this woman who looked about in her 40s with a child who couldn't be any older than 6. At first I was fine with this, as I don't own the land. Therefore, they were also allowed here. They had a dog, and I also took my dog up with me, as I usually do. And if you know me in person, then you would know that I really can't stand little kids. Well, some can be okay, but this girl was the kind of girl who decided the law didn't apply to her. So I was running, and this little girl says,
"Can I pet the dog?"
I know that with the pandemic, you shouldn't really be petting other people's dogs, but me being the unsocial 13-year-old I am, just nodded and proceeded to watch this girl play with the dog as I run. Everything sounds fine so far. Well, not too bad, yes? I had a drink with me that I left where I would finish my run, so I could then have a drink as soon as I finished. This girl decides to take the drink, throw it until all the water leaks out, and then licks the bottle. Licks the bottle! The mother watches without a care in the world, as if there isn't a deadly virus killing people as we speak. I say to the girl's mother, "Do you mind asking her to stop? I don't feel comfortable, as I wouldn't like to risk catching the virus." You'd think this woman in her 40s, clearly understanding what this virus is, would agree. But no!
My child deserves the world. She's only playing. So do your run that I can tell you need. And if you have a problem with her, then ignore her.
As if I'm in the wrong now. So I then ask her what her child has done to deserve the world, and that it's not like she's changed history forever. It sounds mean, but true. Then the little girl starts howling at my dog. My dog doesn't like humans and can be scared of them easily, and my dog starts shaking. So now I have to stop my run that I so desperately need to comfort my dog, as she is only small. So I try speaking to the mother again. "Look, I understand your child isn't trying to do any harm, but my dog isn't the best with human interactions, never mind being howled at. So please, may you have a word with your daughter." Once again, I'm just a shy boy who's managed to rack up the nerves to talk to this woman. But not just a woman, a Karen. She simply replies, "No." And that's it! Except for that, the little girl starts rolling around, trying to catch up to me, who is starting to run again after comforting my dog, which I just tried to avoid the girl. Pandemic reasons once again. Just complaining about it as I already did obviously wouldn't work. Karen's response would just be the same, so there's no point. The girl starts crying as she can't catch up with me, and the mother complains about the cheek of me and that I should slow down for her daughter. At this point, I've decided to give up and go to my other running spot. May I point out this was an extra 20 minutes of my time to get to. So all in all, today's lesson is little kids are brats and don't mess with Karens. Yikes. Dogs can be really sensitive creatures, and I am honestly shocked that this person tried to be kind and allow the little girl to pet his walking buddy. But I knew that something was wrong once she started licking his water bottle. Like, why would she even do that? And the mother wasn't the least bit concerned about it. Apparently, he picked the wrong place to jog this time. That's harsh when you're trying to get outside and better yourself, but then lo and behold, trouble finds you in an otherwise empty field. What did you guys think about this story, or any of today's in general? I always love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in with me, Jesse. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and check out what other stories I have for you. I truly appreciate your love and support, and hope that you stick around if you enjoyed this episode. I hope your day is as wonderful as possible, and that today gives you something to smile about. I'll catch you in the next one.